Okay, chat. Before you guys joined us, we were here discussing inbreeding. Somehow, the coefficient of inbreeding.
Thank God.
Okay. I was looking at this dude and I was like, he looks pretty normal, but I'm realizing this is the King of Scotland.
Yeah, different guy. Not Charles II of Scotland. Charles II of Spain. He actually went by Carlos.
Oh yeah, he's the Habsburg.
Yep.
Got
He's got that
Habsburg
Habsburg shit.
jog. How unlucky would you have to be to just be born with the Habsburg jaw?
His so it says right here, he suffered from a range of disorders, including developmental delay, intellectual disability, dysarrhythmia. I don't even know how to say that.
Dysarrhythmia?
No, there's
He
no
had a bad
M.
heartbeat. There's no M?
There's no M. Dysarthria. Skeletal deformity, recurrent infections, epilepsy, and infertility.
I mean, he sounds like a good time to me.
I bet he was. I
I'm
bet he
reading
was
the
a good hang.
Wikipedia article for the coefficient of inbreeding, and I was skipping around, so I read, it is recommended to keep the coefficient of inbreeding less than 5% before reading that it is about dogs. But I mean, that seems like a pretty good rule to me.
I mean, ideally for like people, that coefficient is 0, right?
I mean, we're never getting there. Is the thing.
I mean, like never
We're all a
exactly
little
0,
bit
but I imagine we could start to approach 0.
Okay. So it's got a nice table here. Coefficient of inbreeding for repeated generation of sibling mating. It takes 5 generations to get 67% of the coefficient. It takes 20 generations to get to 98%. So is it ever possible? How many generations do you
I bet it's
get
like
to?
as you approach infinity.
Yeah, you get to 99%. Somebody ought to try and calculate this for Dune, for Paul of Dune. What is Paul of Dune's coefficient of inbreeding?
So I have not read Dune, and the movies did not go very much into inbreeding. So
Oh, that is one of the there's canonically one of the reasons they don't tell the Bene Gesserit who their parents are is so that they can make you go and like fuck a parent or a sibling or somebody that you're related to.
huh?
It's in the it is in it's in the lore that they are forced frequently to go to deep incest.
Yeah, not ideal. So this chart right here, it only mentions like sibling breeding though. It doesn't say anything about like if you were your own grandfather.
Yeah. I mean, I think we could probably work on this equation here.
Are you really like are you married to the idea of your thesis being on like what it currently is and not not changing?
Yeah,
to
you
just
know what? I'm
calculating coefficient
dropping
of
I'm
inbreeding?
dropping it. We're gonna do PhD on the mathematics of incest. That is certainly going to win me prestige. The statistics of incest. Do you know you gotta be such a like defender of incest to make that your whole deal. No one's normal about incest and doing a PhD on it.
Yeah, there's not very many like outspoken proponents of incest.
There's not a lot of outspoken defenders. I bet you though, somebody. I'm gonna let somebody else have that. How many years over under do we think it's going to be before somebody gets elected to a House of Representatives seat in the Deep South on this single issue platform of defending incest?
I think
How
that's
many
already
years?
happened, to be honest. That was like that was the second election. That was like 1786 in Alabama.
John Adams is like, thou shalt be able to fuck thine own sister if she's fine.
Only if she's
Only
fine.
if she's fine, though.
Not if she's no go.
I think I'm a constitutional originalist in this one particular issue, in which case it is four or more original teeth, I believe. But well, that's how you find out. That's how you find out if a horse is strong and healthy.
Just take a look at them teeth.
Yeah, and that's also how you find out
That's what that
if a
means.
person is strong or healthy. Yeah, because it's if somebody gives you a horse, that horse is probably fucked up.
Yeah, I've never been gifted a horse, so I couldn't say for certain, but there's some logic behind that.
I can get behind it.
How many people are out there gifting horses
These days,
in this
none.
economy?
What you? If I just come across a horse, I don't even know a horse. That's so sad. Well, the
I'm pretty sure you're
maintenance
right
on
about
a
that,
horse has got to be out the roof. I mean, your horse breaks one leg, and then you gotta kill him, and you're not even gonna get that good of like a return on investment from the glue.
We should like how like the U.S. was on like the gold standard and the silver standard for a while.
The horse.
The
standard.
horse standard. Our currency is just based on how many horses are alive and well.
You're blowing right by that. We were never on the silver standard. Bimetallism was a horrific landmine, and I think the only successful third party platform was bimetallism in the United States history. But that's true. Crypto is essentially silver.
Horse coin.
Horse coin.
Horse coin to the moon.
I like this idea though of a fiat currency based on horses. Like imagine if a horse plague comes through and all of a sudden the US dollar is worth like 25% of its original value.
Like at that point, like the currency can just be destroyed by just one guy with a shotgun running around to different farms. Just like I'm taking out as many horses as I see.
The classic progressive position of the death penalty becomes not allowed except for horse killers.
Except for horse killers.
So you gotta reduce. Well, at that point, horse supply and demand of the horse economy.
I can. There's like an X graph, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't pay very much attention in econ.
Yeah, it's like the X graph. You don't really need to. I'm super convinced that economics isn't really real, and it's so embarrassed. I think there's nothing more embarrassing in the world than being an economist, because they're just in this stupid arms race to invent like a more made up discipline. I heard a talk from a professional economist not even 2 weeks ago who was trying to tell us about techno-economics. And I'm like, dude, you are so sad. You invented techno-economics just to make me respect you infinitesimally more. And it didn't even work. You just sound like a buffoon. Techno-economics? Is that just not economics?
I mean, I imagine the goal of pretty much.
I think it was about technology. I would have respected him more if it was an economic analysis of Daft Punk, but it was about nuclear reactors. I was disappointed.
I mean, I'd like if I hear you said what techno economics.
Techno-economics.
Like I would assume it'd be like it's chips are the future.
Yeah, you would assume so. They're always talking about their chips, their wafers. In the desert. Yeah. Yeah, we got a manufacturing process that requires infinity gallons of water. Put that shit in the desert. It's how you really know that like economists and business majors are fucked up. I mean, like the founding assumption of your field is that everybody's rational, which is like
Just not even a
Have
little
you
true.
been outside?
Have you ever been to a Walmart?
Have you gone outside?
Have you been to an all-you-can-eat buffet between the hours of 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock on a on a Sunday morning?
My fat ass would ruin the supply and demand curve at an all-you-can-eat buffet.
You ever seen a chocolate fountain and then just like a 3-year-old kid just sticking his hand in there like up to his elbows and just going ham on that? I've seen that. That's a parental desire.
You gotta beat your kid if they're doing that, right? Like, you gotta whip them.
I personally would. I don't have any children, but if I did, it would take a lot less than that.
For me, if my child's born, that's enough. That's enough for me to whoop him.
Like if I get home,
think about that.
If I get home from a long day at work and they start asking me questions like, "Hey, Daddy, did you have a good day?" Like it's on site. I'm throwing them out the window.
I do think about that sometimes when I'm driving home. I'd be like, if there was a kid waiting for me at home, I would lose my goddamn mind. It would be a nightmare. It'd be a bloodbath. All right, let's get into the episode, because believe it or not, that was the cold open.
That was a solid cold open. I'm proud of that one.
It was all cold open. All cold open.
Touch on incest.
Yeah.
Economics.
We were riffing. I think it's what the kids call riffing. All right. Riffing? It's just like joking with your buddies. Never heard about riffing? That one hasn't made it up there yet, huh? Hasn't made it up there yet.
Isn't that like a white rapper?
Riffing?
Oh, riff rap.
Riff rap.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. He's so funny. Yeah, you got like those. He's the.
My mango.
I'm gonna blow up and act like I don't know nobody. That guy, number one white rapper right there.
I bet he's a fun hang.
I bet he does like so much ketamine that I would die instantly.
I bet he's like the kind of guy that just like does stuff for you and you don't even realize it's being done. Like you're just hanging out, then you look down and he's like inserted a needle into your arm and you're like, "Hey, Riff Raff, what are you doing?"
I'm gonna get you on heroin.
We're doing heroin tonight, boy.
Okay, I think we gotta be with our intro a little bit more professional. So let's decide an order here. Who wants to be the first one who introduced themselves?
I'll go.
Okay, you go.
Fuck. What was my name?
We're gonna talk it through.
Okay.
And then we're gonna stick the landing.
Okay.
Perfectly.
We're not gonna stick the
cut
landing.
any of this. I'm not gonna cut this. So they're gonna hear us like strategize for like 5 minutes and then I'll still fuck it up. So I think you gotta throw down your name and then like a charming little slogan. Like, "Oh, I'm a stinker," or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like a catchphrase. Yeah, it's Pierre.
I mean, all the best rapper call outs are
you
basically just yelling their own names, right?
Ad-lib.
Ad-lib.
It's lit. Yo, Pierre. Okay. So, you're first. I'll go second. That leaves Jerry, you're third. You ready? Okay.
Okay.
I'll give everyone 15 seconds to think of a charming little one-liner. I'm also not going to cut out the 15-second silence.
Okay. I'm ready. We're going zero creativity here. My name's... I can't remember what my name was. My name's Tito Thalweg, but you can call me anytime.
I might have to kill myself.
That was the goal.
Oh, wait, we got to introduce the podcast first. Okay, run it back. We're going to do it again. I'm going to run us into the podcast. You introduce yourself. Then me, then Jerry. This time for sure.
Okay.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a while. We're so pleased to have you here at the You Laugh Just Like Your Mother podcast.
Hi, I'm Tito Thalweg, and you know how like sometimes you'll be walking down the street and you see a homeless guy, and he has just like Like just all this stuff has just like a little bit of scum on it, just like a nice little film on it. That's how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, me too. I'm Jaden. I explode sometimes. The can of Narcan, save him. You get injected into people's nasal cavities. Okay, I hope you stand by that.
If I'm ever like lying, you ever walk in, you find me just like lying on the ground dead. I
I'm
am
gonna kick
legally
you.
giving you permission to go ahead and do a finishing move. You just drop the people's elbow. Do not do not resuscitate.
DNR, DFM. Do not resuscitate. Do a finishing
Do
move.
a finishing. What am
Yeah,
I
I'm whipping out my kerosene when I see
just setting me on
when I
fire?
see your unconscious body.
Would you rather burn from like kerosene or just like with like a little Bic lighter? Like someone douses you in
I think
kerosene, lights you up. Just one. No, it would just take a really long time.
I'm not sure about the math here.
If you have one Bic lighter, I think you can make it work.
What if what if your death isn't painful? Then it doesn't count. What if you live life over and over again until you finally die a painful death?
So like that's reincarnation, but like every line of reincarnation doesn't end until you're just like horrifically torn to shreds by a pack of wolves or something.
Yeah, if you die peacefully, your ass gets
If you
thrown right back to the beginning.
do it again, double and give
Do
it
it
to the
again.
next one.
You gotta live two lives at the same time. God, I thought having two families was hard.
I think it depends on what you're getting eaten by. Like a big cat, they're stealthy. They kill you pretty quick. But like a bear, like a black bear, he's gonna start at your legs. You're gonna be alive until he's like up here, and then I mean at that point it's like, come on.
I'm pretty sure the worst way to die would be if you're driving and somebody crashes into you and they crashed into you because they were jerking off the whole time. That's my money. Somebody jerks you off to death, but like not even in a cool way.
Yeah, that would
Because
suck.
imagine, like you get to heaven, yeah, and St. Peter's like manner of death, and you're like, some guy crashed into me because he was jerking his shit. You're gonna be the loser in heaven. He's gonna stuff you into a heaven locker, like the little nerd. No, but it's still gonna be heaven, so you're gonna have to like it. Is gonna be the sad part.
So I'm just picturing like rolling up to those pearly gates in St. Peter's right there. He's like, "Hey, how'd you die?" It's like, "Well, first of all, you know already. You have the book right there. It says if I was a good person. It says how I died. Why are you making me say it again? A guy was jerking off, and he crashed his car into me,
I
sir."
think I think from the other perspective, if you're the dude who's jerking off and crashes into a car and
That's a
kills
sick
somebody,
fucking way to die.
you go to like Super Valhalla. You go where the warriors go.
You
You go
become
somewhere
Odin.
wonderful. Yeah.
That's how Odin
I think that
ascended
might make it
to his
worse
godhood.
too.
Is he was jerking off and
He was
accidentally
jerking
killed
off
someone.
and he ran over a dwarf.
It's good.
See, like I can visualize how you drive a car and jerk off. I don't know how you ride a canoe. You gotta have unbelievable dexterity.
See, it's
You're working that paddle with one
stroke
hand.
and then stroke and then
Oh, like
stroke
while you're
and then
coasting?
stroke.
Okay. You, and then you can use both hands on your dick. You can just really get after it.
Or if you have two dicks, that'll work too.
Odin probably also did have two dicks. That might be why he got to be Odin. Like, if you don't have two penises, you're only like a Valkyrie.
Hmm. Which of like the like mythology figures, which of all the different gods do you think had the fattest hog?
Probably, I mean, there's got to be a god of having a penis, right? There's got to be the penis god out there.
I mean, there's a lot of fertility gods, but I think the majority of fertility gods are more so like female. Like the goddess of fertility in Norse mythology, I think, is Sif.
Okay, the Greek god Priapus is believed to be the son of the wine god Dionysus and Aphrodite. The symbol of the god Priapus is the phallus, an erect penis that symbolizes male dominance, fertility, or potency. It's Priapus. Mm-hmm. I mean,
I bet Dionysus had like a bigger cock, but he
okay,
just
this
had
is
whiskey
no,
dick all the time.
this is insane. This is insane. Also, this is truly unbelievable. I pulled up a picture here. First off, enormous. Secondly, the caption: penis disorder found in fertility god Pompey portrait.
Whoa.
He does have phimosis. He's got like, this is unbelievable. He's got like a scale.
Yeah, I need to see what you're talking about here.
He's got, this is insane. He's got like a, look at this. Look at that. He's got a hanger for his massive penis. What? What?
God, his foreskin.
And he's
is
got
so
that
long.
out. He's okay. For the listener, this is it's like a Greek style oil painting, clearly on a wall, of this god Priapus, and he's wearing like half of a tunic, in just the top half. So he's got his. I mean, I would estimate that's probably 14 inches, 16 if you consider the extra long foreskin.
It hangs below his knee.
Yeah.
Like it's literally the size of his thigh.
Okay, and so it appears that the painting's a little fractured, but it looks like in his right hand he's holding a set of scales, like you would imagine like the justice scales. And in one scale there appears to be the cherubic arm of an angel, and on the other side there's just his massive penis head. And this is all over just a basket of open fruit. I would not want this man anywhere near my fruit. I'm writing him up from the FDA. This is an F.
Yeah, I'm curious what the.
It's phimosis. Okay, we're reading this article.
Yes, of
this
course.
This phallus flaunting symbol of male potency shows signs of a condition, infertility. Let's see. Patent phimosis. Yep. More specifically, a shut phimosis. Some believe that Henry VIII, with your dad, about this Greek god with the. Do you know that some theories indicate that Henry VIII had such difficulty conceiving a son because he had such a terrible case of phimosis?
I did not know that.
That's just a free one.
Yeah.
That's a free one for the people.
That's a good little fun fact right there.
She fire on my mo till I'm cis. Okay. We've not gotten even into the episode yet. It's been a while since you all have heard from us, and quite a lot. It's been like 6 months probably. Quite a lot has happened. We got 3. I think, no, we were 2.
This is number 3 right here.
This is episode 3. Welcome back for the trilogy. A lot has happened, and we're going to catch you up on some of the most important things to have happened since we last spoke to you. Does anyone feel particularly strongly about going first? If not, I can throw mine out there. We can start with mine.
Lead the way.
Okay. I want to catch you up. I think for anybody out there who is politically engaged, we can see that things are coming to a screeching halt. We're heading for the national divorce. It seems almost inevitable at this point. And so, like any good divorce, the only thing that we have left to decide is who gets what things. And personally, I don't think brain rot even kind of begins to cover what's going on with the religious right. I think it's like a lot closer to a nest of termites, brain eating termites taking up space and just kind of snacking away at the Dura matter. And I think due to this sort of like unbelievable and unprecedented lapse in judgment, we on the left are getting quite a bit more than we ever could have expected. The first one that I really want to talk about here is the NFL. I think we all remember the rigged Super Bowl that occurred at this point about a month ago. It was around this time that not figures, but those on the right were beginning to just to murmur and to express their disapproval about the state of the NFL, going along the lines of we have one Twitter user at Truck Driver Pleb who says Taylor Swift has ruined the NFL for me, and tonight will be the first Super Bowl that I skip in my life, which honestly was a good one. It was a good one to skip. I think the thing that I find kind of strangest about this boycott of the NFL is how much it sort of centers around Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Because I think in previous years, if you told people that there was a football player who was dating one of the most popular pop stars in the world in a display of very classic heterosexual dynamics, I think they would be thrilled. So it's a little bit odd to me. What do you two think? What are we thinking about this Taylor Swift? They're so far right, they're gay again. Yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to that actually a little bit later here. Yeah. I think a part of it is that she's been so popular for so long that it's kind of gotten to, like she's been so far in the forefront of the public eye that it's starting to really wear on people. I also think it's like, this is not about Taylor Swift, but the fact that she has been so famous for so long and never had a real controversy is kind of a little psychotic.
I mean, her biggest controversy is just someone else being an asshole to her.
Yeah. Or like the guy she's dating is a loser.
And I made the jet thing, I guess. The jet, yeah.
Yeah, but that's never going to take hold,
Which, again, though,
like
you would think that the right
celebrity
would be like, oh, she's burning a bunch of fossil fuels. I'm all for that.
She loves fossil fuel. Right.
Is it true, like, I don't pay enough attention to the majority of celebrities, but is it true that both her and Kelsey were just, like, not even super outspoken, but just, like, supportive of the vax?
Well, Travis was like a paid spokesperson for getting the COVID booster and the flu shot at the same time.
He's a Pfizer,
and so
bro.
he was like paid by Pfizer, right? Which is why Rodgers came in and started calling him Mr. Pfizer, which is pretty hilarious. Rodgers of all people. Yeah, I think it's odd, and kind of more into this we have another Twitter user at the Spearing who tweets out in reference to her and Travis Kelce, if he was a real man, he'd put a ring on it and get her pregnant. And I think the really strange thing about this was it was accompanied by a picture of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift embracing after the Super Bowl. And that was captioned, "Boys play games, men have families." And below that was just a picture of the most boring family you could imagine in all of history.
It was like a stock photo of a family.
It was literally, and it was probably, I think the best way that I can describe it is it's like a picture that they would put up in an article about a dude who killed his whole family.
I'm picturing family of four standing in front of a like middle-sized suburban home holding a dog that I'm going to call as a golden retriever.
Yeah, I think it was 5, and they were like crouched in like a field during the springtime. Yeah. It's like a professional photo shoot.
No dog.
But I would absolutely believe that man's a family annihilator just from the get-go. Yeah, I guess you gotta have a family to be a family annihilator. That's a pretty good point. You gotta play games. If you can't ball, you're never gonna get to cream. Yeah, so I think, just a really strange sort of understanding of how having a family works. Well, I mean, so we've got football, we've got Taylor Swift, nationally beloved things. Of course, the right would never speak out against something like ice cream, right?
Ben and Jerry's,
Well,
baby.
that's not even it. Twitter user at Asen tweets, "A grown man should not be licking an ice cream cone in public," in reference to, one of the many pictures of Biden enjoying an ice cream cone. And now, I'd argue that, first of all, this is getting rid of any claims to custody over ice cream itself, but also just being whimsical and having a good time on a warm summer's day. I think it's kind of an insane thing. It's an insane thing to police somebody eating an ice cream cone.
You ever seen the movie Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story?
No.
There's a scene in it where he's eating an ice cream cone and his like love interest is also eating an ice cream cone, and they're both just being like so over the top, like this ice cream cone's a cock. No, this ice cream is I'm licking ice cream titties.
Titties?
I'm ice cream titties.
Okay, but like an ice cream cone is much more appropriately would be the pussy, wouldn't it?
I mean, it could have been the clit, but based on like this was a dude from the '60s, I don't think he knew what a clit was.
That's true. They didn't know about pussy in the 60s. That was a new discovery. They hadn't figured that one out yet. So then another user at Clay Travis says, Joe Biden eating ice cream while answering reporter questions about serious issues isn't charming. It's super weird. Do you know grown men who go to get ice cream by themselves? I don't. It's very strange. Do any of you know grown men who go and get ice cream by themselves?
When I was living in Florida, there was this. It wasn't ice cream. It was shaved ice mixed with gelato, and it was delicious. But while I never went by myself, every once in a while that I would be in line with my wife, there would be a single guy. Every once in a while, there'd be a single guy getting ice cream in this line. He looked like a suspect. I'm not saying he was, but it's the kind of thing, like, you ever been walking down the street and, like, you just kind of take a step away from the person who's walking your direction? Similar thing. Like, it wasn't a good-looking dude.
Yeah, like you see a black guy and you cross the street.
I was thinking more Mexican.
All right. I think it's just, and this is, I think, kind of representative of all of these things. It's just this incredibly strange portrayal of what it means to be, like, masculine. Like, what do you mean playing football isn't masculine? Trucking other huge dudes isn't masculine? To be so concerned that, like, you can't go to Cold Stone by yourself and get ice cream. Like, you've got... Yeah. Yeah, I think you've already lost if you're sitting there and you're thinking, like, can I go get ice cream by myself? Biden can't even think about them, He couldn't even if he tried. Yeah. This dude he's literally, like, chewing through his tongue, posting on Twitter, so mad, and Biden is having an ice cream cone and a wonderful time. I am the sleek FDR bullet train. It's just, I think, in a word, sad. And I think finally, kind of to round out, there's a more comprehensive list, but we're hitting the highlights here. I think the most devastating blow is also the most recent. And so we've discussed NFL, Taylor Swift, ice cream. The thing that really makes me almost sad for these folks is that they can't even enjoy tomboys anymore. For a perspective on this, let's go to user at super sad with 2 A's 44, who says tomboys are not hot. I repeat, tomboys are not hot. Attraction to tomboys is homosexuality, and women shouldn't be working outside. What kind of man lets his woman work outside like a man? And he then follows this up and doubles down by saying any man that finds tomboys attractive is gay, spelled Ghey. So I think this leads us to sort of the most poignant and important question probably of the 21st century. Is it gay to like women?
Yes. That's the gayest thing you can do.
Yeah. I mean, honestly. And this is something I think that there are a lot of figures who I think are really mad that you can't like men without being gay. They despise sort of the cultural baggage of what it means to be gay in America in the 21st century. And so they're disgusted in the fact of liking men, not even from the sheer act of it. They would love to bed down with a burly hunk, but they don't like the fact that would make them gay. They could fuck a man without being gay. They would in an instant. Yeah. I think you think about Spartans, and
They would like bulk up and
if
stuff. Like before going into battle, they would just hold each other's sacks.
yeah,
How else you like? That's
I mean,
the
they're
best
doing
possible way to bond with your boys. Is just grabbing a ball or two.
well, isn't that what Zack Snyder said? Was that like if you were in love with your fellow soldiers, you would fight harder?
I guess I'm missing out on some Zack Snyder lore, but it makes logical
He
sense
was
to
on
me.
he was on Joe Rogan. He was on Joe Rogan. He was talking about, yeah, which I don't know. It's a lot to think about, but I think what's been forfeited here in the national divorce gives us quite a lot to think about. Is it gay to like football?
Extremely.
Is it gay to eat ice cream?
Extremely.
Is it gay to like women? These, I think, are the questions that'll define a generation. And I'm excited to see what answers we come to. All right, let's keep catching up. What else has happened since our last Q drop? Has he?
Oh wow.
What are Okay, I don't think the question is will this one explode, but when? Yeah,
When will
where
it
slash
explode?
when?
Will it make
When
it
will
off
it
the
explode?
ground?
I don't,
I watched it.
I know they explode. That's all I need to know.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun one. Definitely not playing. Port
That's a good thing to lose.
it ended
is
up
a
in like
rocket.
Portland. I hope it ended in the Pacific Ocean.
That's
I think that
I think
he represents the autistic hero that a lot of people see in themselves. He's
I
someone
think
who is
he's
able
just
to turn honestly really stupid ideas into an incredible fortune.
I think he's kind of just he's just a loser, I think. And I think most people, so the average American typically tends to think of themselves as like a disadvantaged rich person. They're not poor, they're just a temporarily poor rich person. And I think Elon is a figure who has money who they can see themselves in, because if you look at most rich people, they're living lifestyles you can't comprehend. They're dressing according to the newest fashion. The things they own are well beyond your means. But you look at Elon, and he is also still obsessed with memes from 2012. He's also a divorce loser. His kids also hate him. So when you look up to like this billionaire, this moneyed class, and you see somebody who also sucks, you just kind of have to latch onto that, because that's exactly how most of these people would be if they were a billionaire. Yeah, I think he's just a loser who had a dad that owned an emerald mine in South Africa.
He operates like if the average guy found a genie.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, that's, I think that is, I think that's the nailing him.
But
Is
instead
he's
of a genie,
just,
his dad just owned an emerald mine.
yeah, so he's also just comically evil. Yeah, it's like the most Reddit dude wished for $1 trillion, and their tastes didn't improve. Yeah, like they didn't get cooler. Money can't buy taste. It can just pay for other people who have taste. I think he's just.
He's rich and supposedly he works that
Yeah.
many hours himself, right?
He likes to claim, but there's no way.
I mean,
How quickly
with the
he
number of
poured.
hours he spends on Twitter, I don't know how he could be still working 60
Yeah,
hours a
I was
week.
gonna say he had like 100 hours in Diablo 4, like the first three
I
weeks.
think he may sit in his office for 60 hours a week, but I don't think he's working that entire time.
Yeah, he's playing something stupid. He's playing a game with the worst build you can conceive of.
He's playing Diablo 4, he's on Twitter, and he's DMing OnlyFans models.
Yeah, and they're ignoring him too.
That's what I'm saying. If the average guy was a billionaire.
Yeah, I think it's so right. He's just a loser who's rich. And I think that's why people love him, because they're losers.
Oh, I want to be a loser who's rich. Right now, I'm just a loser. It'd be very fun to be rich.
beats being beats being awesome and poor.
Like, you could be the coolest guy ever, but if you live in a trailer park, like, what are you even
Yeah.
doing?
I mean, I think that's the entire appeal to, in a way, of New York, I think. It's that all of these like rich nepo babies can go and pretend that they're poor for a while. So they can pretend they're like, these really cool street urchins who are really the son of like a guy who owns four Midwest car dealerships.
But having a trust fund is cool.
Yeah. The coolest thing you can do is have a trust fund.
I think the coolest thing you can do is like a backflip into a pool. That's pretty cool.
Full of money?
No, just a
What if
regular
the pool's
pool.
full of money? What if it's like full of dollar bills?
It would hurt.
I think if you filled a pool with dollar bills, you would be fine.
Like just
It
stacks of
wouldn't
dollar
even hurt
bills.
you.
If they were all crumpled up,
Yeah.
it might cushion you a
You
bit. But just
just
stacks.
dumped gallons and gallons and gallons of dollar bills into an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Like, if they're all
I think you
crumpled
could do
up,
it.
like it would take a lot of prep work. But if you just rolled in with like just like stacks of $100 bills, like
Mhm.
people, yeah, like Walter White. Yeah, that would hurt.
That would hurt if they're compressed. I also think
I mean, I
if
would
you're really
prefer
rich,
hundreds, but I can't afford that shit.
yeah,
I
I
still
can't
think
do a
about it
kitty
when I
pool.
order guacamole on my burrito at Chipotle.
I think I saw somebody say this, but it felt so apt that like the real way Elon Musk sucks is that there are no like demonic gay guys who are super super into him.
Are
Because
there?
if you're like, yeah, it doesn't matter how like fucked up you are. If you have some sauce, there's gonna be a demonic gay guy who loves you.
I'm gonna be honest. I bet you there's at least one demonic gay guy who's very into Elon
I don't
Musk.
know, but he'd have to be out there. He'd have to be his strongest soldier, and he's not. Well, I guess a lot of Elon's strongest soldiers. Maybe. I mean, they might be. I'm thinking about this more, and a lot of the dudes who are like in his replies are like, Elon, if you needed somebody to suck you off, I would. My wife said it was okay. You know. But I'm not personally convinced that's them being gay. I think it's just the weird will to power.
It might just
But
be a little bit of shit posting.
yeah, maybe. But it's hard. It's hard to think of like of a demonic gay guy who's super into Elon Musk.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I could think of any demonic gay guys like at all. Overall, you know.
Oh, they're out there. They're
I'm
out
sure
there.
they're out there, but like, by name, I couldn't name one.
True.
I'm not spending enough
I
time
suppose so.
on demonic gay Twitter, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta stop working.
Yeah.
Stop working. Quit your job.
Play Diablo
Play Diablo
4, sit at
4.
my desk and scroll on Twitter. Well, I kind of do that
Get into
already.
Demon Twinks. Yeah. Then that's the Elon Musk. That was
That's
a
more
thing
work
I
than my
also
actual
heard
job.
is that Diablo 4 is like also the least fun Diablo to be into.
It's the newest one though.
It is the newest one. When they hit Diablo 5, I just my only my only cultural engagement with Diablo was it must have been for 3 that commercial where a dude comes home and there's like clothes strewn all the way up to the bedroom and he follows this like trail of clothes and he opens it up and it's just like his wife and some guy in medieval costumes playing Diablo 3 and they're like, "Good, you're finally home. We need a third." And they hand him a controller. Does anybody remember that?
That probably awakened some people's cucks fetish.
Yeah, I think it would work cuz that is like 30% of poly couples is they're just playing Diablo 4.
I only know one poly couple, and that's not their dynamic.
They play more Diablo 4 than you know.
There's just like no sex at all. It's just exclusively Diablo
It's
4.
it's literally only Diablo 4. And just every now and again you come spontaneously. Is my understanding. No, we're talking about Diablo 4. All right, I understand. We've got some would you rather's to
Oh,
take us home.
yes, I do have a couple of those.
Let's take it home strong. We had a whole nother segment we were gonna do, but
We'll save it for the
since
next one in 6 months from now.
yeah, since we talked about incest for half an hour, I think it's time to take her home.
Okay, so I have these sorted based on like a normal to just more unhinged. So bear with me
Hmm.
here. Would you rather be blind or paralyzed?
Blind. I say often that I think I would be good at being blind.
I think I'd probably rather be paralyzed. That's a big part of the question, right? Because if
Yeah,
it's
I'm thinking
like
here this is quadriplegic.
quadriplegic, I'd
You're
definitely
neck
rather
down.
be blind than quadriplegic. But I think paraplegic, where I still have the use of my arms. I think I could get by with that. Because just like you go blind, you never see a sunset again. You know?
You seen them all.
No. Two, max two. Three, not a chance. Max two for sure. All right. But
If I got eyes and
if you're
arms, I
paralyzed, you
can look at
can't.
porn and jack off.
If you're paralyzed, you can't feel it.
It depends. A lot of paraplegics have penis feeling.
I mean, if you can't, actually, do they have any
Depends.
feeling at all?
I don't know.
I always assume
I
like
think it's
if it's
definitely reduced.
I think quadriplegics can't. Like if you poke a quadriplegic on the leg, I don't think they feel
Yeah.
that.
Well, it depends when you're paraplegic. It depends on where the disconnect is.
Mm-hmm.
You can still theoretically have a functioning penis.
I don't know, but like if we're talking Stephen Hawking, I'm definitely taking. I'll take blind over that. Repeatedly.
Dude, he was on Epstein Island. They took his ass to the island.
I was
Can you imagine?
really sad when I learned that what they were saying he was doing there wasn't real. That he was asking them to have midgets do long equations
Oh,
on a chalkboard, and that's what was getting him off. I was like, this is hilarious. No, it's not real.
Okay. This is a tricky question, and we may have to cut this one out. But what do you think is like? What is something you'd be into that's freaky enough you'd have to go to Epstein Island to take part in it, right? Because like that example, there's nothing illegal about having midgets solve equations on chalkboards for you.
It's just like, how do you
just
bring
really
that up?
don't want anyone to know you're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's so shameful? You have to go to Epstein Island.
It's a good question. I don't know, it would have to be something that I haven't discovered yet. Because I feel like there's nothing that I'm into at the moment.
Anything you know of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing that I know of, but it's like you never know. I gotta take a trip to the island to figure. I have to go on a journey of self-discovery on Epstein's Island.
That's where I feel like you gotta kill yourself, right? Like if you're legitimately going to Epstein Island, not even for anything weird or illegal, but literally you're like, well, I might find something I'm into here. You just gotta kill yourself.
Yeah, probably. I mean, especially just like with the reputation of it now. Like, if you went back in like 2015 before anyone knew what was going on,
he was still he was already convicted of trading minors.
I mean, he was, but it wasn't like, well,
he already went to jail. But yeah, I mean, I know what
when you go up and meet someone new, what's the first thing you ask them? Because for me, it's not, hey, are you a convicted pedophile?
I don't know. Like he was pretty high profile even at the time. Like you would have known if you were running in circles. You would have been like, wow, that's Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe not the average person.
I think if you were already hanging around with him, probably. But if you were just a random guy who showed up, and they were like, hey, we're going to go party on this guy's island. It's like, oh, he has an island? That's cool. And you go there. Like, I'm not going to assume that the owner of that island is a convicted pedophile.
I don't know. Because to me, it's like, what do you need that island for? Why do you own an island if you're not doing something
to hang
shady?
out?
I don't know, but it's like, what else would you buy an island for, if not to do illicit activity?
To party. I don't know. Hang out. Beaches are cool.
Yeah, but you can do that like without having to own the whole island.
Yeah, I mean, if you're rich enough,
There's
why wouldn't
plenty
you
of-
own the island though? Like Richard Branson,
Like
he doesn't. Oh, he's not a convicted pedophile, and he owns an island.
that we know of.
Yeah, I guess that we know of. Keyword convicted.
I can't think of a single upstanding reason why you need to own an island. I guess.
I don't know. Why do you need to own a house? Why do you need to own anything? It's a cool thing to have.
That's very different than owning an island.
If you own, a big enough house.
How big a house do you need before it becomes an island, do you think?
I don't know if it's necessarily like size, but definitely like price. Because I think there's some islands you can buy for a few $1 million. Like
Oh,
you
you can buy
might
an island
get
for like $300,000.
300,000. Yeah, that's a
There's some islands you can buy.
it's a cheap
for
island. I don't know how big that island is,
an
but
average American house. Yeah.
probably be a little bit
I mean,
harder
they're
to get a
undeveloped.
loan for that compared to getting a loan for a house.
I don't know. It depends on your business proposition.
So I'm
Depends
gonna
what you're
hang
do with the
out,
island.
bring rich people. I'm gonna bring famous people around, and then have
they're like, damn son. They dab
if
you
you
up. They're
give
like,
me
damn
this
son.
loan, you
You
can
want
come
to
to this
invite
island
me?
whenever you want.
Damn, can I come?
Just take it. I don't care. All right, moving on. Next, would you rather? Would you rather eat the same bland, boring meal every day of your life for the rest of your life, or you can eat whatever you want for the rest of your life, but right now you have to eat a doo-doo sandwich? A single doo-doo sandwich right now, and then after that, you're free. You can eat whatever you want. French
Yeah,
bread.
cheese mayo.
You can add anything to it that you want to, but the main meat of
Okay.
the sandwich has to be doo-doo.
How many beers can I drink
Um,
before?
however many you want.
All right, I'm drinking 11 beers and I'm eating the doo-doo sandwich.
Valid.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, if
sober
I can't
eating
black
a doo-doo
out,
sandwich.
if I got to be sober, I'm eating the same bland meal every day.
See, I like food too much. I don't think I could eat just we're talking like white rice every meal for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Look, I'm on the upswing on liking food, but I feel like I would never be able to eat again if I have a memory of eating a doo-doo sandwich.
The first couple weeks would be rough for sure.
Yeah, it's like every meal I eat from then on, yeah, it's stained with doo-doo. Every single meal for the rest of my life.
Like, have you ever had those jelly beans? I think they're called like Bean Boozled or whatever.
Oh, yeah. They
You
have
have like a
the gross
50-50 chance
flavors.
of getting the good one.
Yeah, I always got
bad one.
mild ones, and I didn't even eat for like a week after them.
Well, there's one that's the flavor of it is it's either chocolate or dog food, and the dog food makes your mouth taste like dog food for approximately 48 hours. Now picture that, but doo-doo
doo-doo
sandwich.
Yeah, I'm not eating again. I'm never going to enjoy another meal. I think either way, what it comes down to is I'm not going to enjoy another meal.
I think you
And
could.
so I can.
You can go through
maybe.
therapy.
Do I get therapy for free in the doo-doo sandwich option?
No, you're gonna have to pay for that yourself.
Nah. Therapy's a scam anyway.
Okay. Next, would you rather have every shit that you ever take just be like a really hot, uncomfortable, just like painful shit, and that's for the rest of your life, or you have a dead tooth?
I feel like, can I get the tooth removed?
No, you're stuck with it. You're stuck with just a decaying dead tooth, like not a front tooth, but like when you have
Like
like
a
a
back
real
one,
big
like a
smile,
molar.
you see it just like kind of poking. We'll say like what's that called?
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. If you take the hot shits, then like you're discretizing your pain. It's not gonna be that constant ache, and no one has to know that you're taking jalapeno shits every single time. So I think you gotta go with the first one. Yeah, because you got the dead tooth.
The shit
Yeah.
handle's going.
I can bring in my sound canceling mask so I can scream in agony.
I think I would have to be
What do you
that guy that
do?
just walks around with a little box of wet wipes, just 24/7. I'd have
Just
to
in
become that
case.
guy.
Yeah. I wonder, like, would you rather walk into a bathroom, a public bathroom, right? And you either hear somebody who rips the most continuous, wettest ass for 30 continuous seconds, or they're screaming in pain. But which would you rather? You walk in and they're ripping ass at least 30 seconds continuous. And it's wet. And it's a wet ass. Well, clearly they are, and that maybe that's the problem. 30 seconds wet. Like you know what it smells like just from hearing it. Or they walk in and they're ah, ah, ah.
Like
yeah. Good place for it.
you ever
follow
be like, similar situation, you're in the bathroom, just public bathroom, taking a shit, and you can hear someone else taking a shit, and like obviously there's some farting going on, nothing crazy, but like they're moaning real loudly.
That's the third would you rather. Yeah, that's the third one. One time yeah, he shit himself and had to go into the bathroom. Dude, you're fighting a battle. You're fighting a battle. One time when I lived in Indiana, I walked into the steel mill bathroom, and there was a dude. This was a Saturday too. I was there on a Saturday, and this guy yells as soon as he hears the door open. He goes, "Who's come to visit me?" I'm like, "Dog, you're shitting. I'm not talking to you while you're shitting." And I feel like now, like literally this last week, there's been an epidemic of guys who roll into the bathroom, over to the urinal, whip it out, start pissing on their phone, talking.
Oh, yeah.
Talking to somebody on the phone.
That's sociopath behavior.
It's unbelievable. If I knew anybody was pissing while they were on the phone with me,
I'm peeing on them. Next time I see him,
I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find, like it makes me want to just yell like, "Yo, he's pissing. Get it." Unbelievable. Yeah. It's just, and if you're on the phone, can they not hear you pissing?
If they have a light enough stream, they could probably do a little stealth pee right there.
Ugh. It just disgusts me.
There was
let's do
this
two
one
more.
time. No, quick story, and then I'll do my last one.
Get in there.
There's this one time I was probably like 4th or 5th grade, and the elementary school that I went to, my mom was a secretary, and so obviously she was my ride home every day, and she would have to stay later than past the time that pretty much all the kids would get picked up and taken home. And I'm working on homework, just basically like waiting for my mom to be ready to leave, and I'm like, oh god, I really gotta take a shit. So I run into the bathroom, and like it was knocking on the door. It was a close call. So I run into the bathroom, plopped it down on the stall. I'm there. I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my life. Mm-hmm. And then I hear the door to the bathroom open up, and I look up and I realize that I didn't close the stall door.
Just making eye contact.
Me and this kid who was like probably like a 7th grader just like stare at each other for a couple of seconds, and then he just closed the door and walked away.
That's good stuff.
I've never told that story to anybody.
Do it for the pod. Yeah,
that was
that's
a deep
dark
memory.
moment.
Yeah, I honestly forgot about that.
Dark moment. Dark moment.
All right.
Oh God. Yeah, you send that child to prison.
There was this one time, same elementary school. I walked into the bathroom. I was going to take a shit, and I opened the stall up, and the toilet bowl was like filled with just like unrolled toilet paper, to where it was like literally rising out of the bottom of the bowl. And then right on top of the toilet paper was just like a single circular turd about the size of a fist.
Mm.
I was like, what
Again,
the fuck happened here?
jail for that child.
Oh, it looked like an ice cream sundae, and the shit was like the cherry on top. All right, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna cut all of this. This is brown. This is brown, baby. It's not gold. It's brown.
This is pure brown. All right. One last would you rather here. Would you rather have a bunch of missing teeth or a couple of missing fingers?
Fingers.
Fingers over teeth? That's
What fingers? How many? Yeah. I'm taking fingers over teeth. How many fingers? How many teeth?
I'm gonna say you're missing 2 fingers on each hand.
2 in each hand.
And for teeth, I'm gonna say you're missing like not enough where it's necessarily impacting your ability to eat, but it's like very obvious whenever you open your mouth at all that you're missing your front fucking teeth.
I'll give you one for free. I'm gonna give you every finger but your middle finger and your thumb.
That's all you need?
That's all I think you can get away. You can pinch her, you can pinch shit, and you can still flip people off. That's pretty much all you need your hands for.
Good type, yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna give you a job.
This guy was in a horrific
Something
accident
terrible must have happened.
or a birth defect. But if you're missing teeth, you look like an idiot.
Yeah, there's like this guy can't brush his teeth. Oh.
Well, that's,
How would you say you lost your fingers? Yeah.
That's a good question. We'll say I was gonna say bitten off by like an animal, but like not an animal that you would expect to be able to bite off a finger. I'm gonna say bitten off
Bird.
by like a weasel or something.
Weasels can get you.
They can, but like they're also they're little, And for
That's
them to
true.
get
You gotta kind of let a
in
weasel
your
chew
case
chew your fingers out.
8 of your fingers, or no, 6 of your fingers.
Hey, look, man. I had to drink the 13 beers so I could eat the doo-doo sandwich, and then when I fell asleep into a coma, weasel's not my finger.
Just nodding my fucking fingers off. Oh god. I assume in Africa, or were these just some rogue? This is in like Tennessee.
What if you were in like Boston and you passed out on the sidewalk and they just stole your damn fingers? You woke up and you're like, God damn it, I can't have shit. They stole 6 of my damn fingers.
There's a that was a guy. That was a dude. Guy came up and stole your kidney.
They left you an extra kidney, actually. Took your fingers, paid for it in a kidney.
There was
All right.
There's a guy I work with. Said one of his buddies from when he was a kid was like very allergic to ant bites, and when he was in college, he got like blackout drunk, and when he was stumbling home, he passed out and happened to pass out on an anthill and got stung so many times that he died. It's a rough way to
Sometimes
go.
ants kill you.
Yeah. I watched
Sometimes
Indiana
ants kill
Jones.
you. Senile? What? Okay. Oh, seen it all. Well, we have seen it all here on the You Laugh Just Like Your Mother podcast. I hope you enjoyed your time with us. And I hope you'll join us again in 6 months when we drop episode 4. Good night, all.